All right. Morning, everyone. Let's start with a moxo and straightening Benchi Jin. Come up a little bit on your balls of your feet. Raise your crown chakra. Straighten your spine, and then breathe out. Come down to your flat-footed and moxo. Okay, I'm gonna start us by moving our body a little jogging in place. If you wish, you can do a little jumping in place. Eesh. Relaxing your shoulders. Me, sun, she, go, tish, hush, do a little more vigorously than we've been doing on Zoom. Let's get a little bit of body, large muscles, relaxed up. Ish. Sun, she, go, hush, and roll our shoulders back. Ish, knee, sun, she, go and forward. Ish, knee, sun, she, go, and again a little more jumping softly. Sun, she, go, run, see, touch, ish, sun, she, go, and use your elbows going back. Relax your spine, let it bend as you go back. Sun, she, go, and forward. Ish, knee, sun, she, and one arm at a time. Let your spine snake back and forth as you imagine swimming forward. Ish, knee, sun, she, go and back. Ish, knee, sun, she, open up the sides, the armpits, all the way through the hips. Let them rotate and along with your arms. And forward and begin to stretch out and look up. Swim up into the sky. Ish, knee, sun, she, and back. Ish, knee, further behind each time. Sun, she, go, and one big arch back, and one up, forward. And straighten your clothes again, and lower, let your head rock back and forth. Ish, me, sun, she, go, rook, sish, hutch, ku, chew, and looking up, back, side to side. Ish, me, sun, she, go, rook, sish, hutch, chew, and looking down. Ish. Knees, start with your neck and then work your way to your hips and then rocking from your feet. Go and forward and back on one left side. And then let your hips move. And rock from your ankles and knees. And to the other side. Yeesh. Start with the neck. Loosen it. And your hips. And neck. And ankles. Okay, and slowly adjust the neck in circles. And other way. Eesh. Knee. Fun, and balance yourself a little more and start at your hips. Let your whole upper body rotate. On another way. Eesh. Knee. Sun. And another way, a little bigger. You can widen your stance, include your arms. Oh, yeah. Sun. And lean over for a moment. Rock back and forth from one foot to the other. Ish, knee, sun, she, go, and hold on one side and massage that leg, ankle, foot, knee, hips, thighs, and other side. Up and down. Down to the foot and back up. The lower back. And massage at the lower back a bit. And leaning over with your hands out open. And rocking and go around. Eesh. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Sun. Yes. Oh, yeah. And other way. Oh, knee. Wow. Sun. Oh. Yes. And again, hold at the bottom and just relax. Stretch the back of the leg a little more. Bend your knees. And just slowly roll up. Support yourself if you need to. Okay. Turning one way and lunging over that knee. Keep your spine as straight as possible. Lower your hips. If you have something you need, you can hang on to. If that's okay, you can help yourself go a little bit lower. Or you can support it, your koshi, your lower back. And bring your feet straight forward again. Lower your hips. Turn out over the other foot. And lunge out. Okay, and to the center. And I'm going to use a little bit of support here to help get a little higher. Go a little bit towards, not a full split, but then I'm going to lower my one knee and kind of form a triangle between my feet and hands and lower my hips portion of it on one side. And rock to the other. And rock to the other. Let my toe, extended leg go up. And rock, come back, rock to the other. Let the other foot extend out and the toe roll up. And back to the center, bring my feet in a bit. And helping myself come down a bit. You can support and hang on to something if you need to. Let your hips sink. All right, and we're gonna go down a little bit to the floor here. I hope I'm gonna move my camera down just a bit again. Down here on the floor, and I'm going to let my hands go forward and stretch my hips towards and lengthen my spine. Called froggy stretch by a lot of people. And rocking back, push your hips back towards your toes. Keep the soles of your feet together if you can, and push forward and look over one shoulder. And rock back. And up again, forward and look over the other shoulder. And back, bring your knees together and stretch your toes so they're curled under, and stretch back the soles of your feet. Okay, and then straight from here, we're gonna put our hands down and are gonna lift our hips. And initially just rock from one foot to the other, pushing the heel down. And then on one foot, we're going to push it and massage the back of that leg with the other insole. And put that foot down. Massage the both other side. Both down. Push up as much as you can into a right triangle or a good triangle. And then walk your hands back. And hang. And support yourself, roll up. And hands on your knees and rotating inward. Ish. Ni, san, shi. Go the way. Ish. Ni, san, shi. Go. And knees together. Ish. Ni, san of the way. Ish. Ni, san. Straighten up. Feet still together. Hands on your hips and rotate around. Try to keep your head as straight as steady as possible. It's easiest if you look at a distant point. And other way. Knee. She. Widen your stance to about shoulder width. And just this time, relax and push out to all the points of the circle. Yi. San. She. Other way. Ish. Ni. San. She. Straighten yourself up. Couple breaths. Relax down through your body. And thank you. Good, Connie.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, that looks good. I think you can see my feet and my hands, huh, Sarah? Good. Okay, so the first part, classic Keiko Taiso, healthy exercises. Intent is to begin to bring our mind and body together. Often we live sort of separately, so an exercise to unify them, as well as an exercise that sort of systematically moves through the joints, starting with the upper body, works its way down to the lower limbs, and then comes back to the center. So there's a classic structure to it. The next part of the class is a key home, and that is a more formal exercise. It's designed to begin to move us in space, begin to transition, now that we have the mind body together, to move us into different states of being. And then the next part of the class will be studying Tenshin Goso, so we'll be unifying together, and then finishing with Wakame, where we feel ourselves unified not just with each other, but nature and our surroundings. So that's sort of the framework for the class. Eiko Sei is what I'm going to teach first, followed by Eiko Dai. So Eiko Sei classically means formal. So we're going to be doing some stepping and arm movement for Eiko. And then we'll move to a little bit freer movement to do Eiko Dai in our small constricted spaces. And if you're able to use your voice as we move along, feel free. If you are in a space that doesn't let you use your voice, then just make a nice sound on the inside. All right, so let's start where we're going to end, which is with Wakame. And just take a moment to just check out your body. Did you sort of get everywhere beginning to connect and unify and soften a little bit? Just sort of see where that is. Good. And let your head go forward and back as you Wakame forward and back. So reach out with your chin, let your chin drop to your chest, and let your head drop back. Good. And let your shoulders drop back, let your chest open, and let your chest close. Let your arms begin to move in a big fashion with this. And as we do it next, let your arms drop back. Begin to let just them raise without so much effort, full up to Kai Shogun, open hand, Kai Shogun, signature trademark of Shintaida. And reach forward with them and let your eye gaze go far. Bring it down to about shoulder height and then let them drop again. And one more time, Wakame, forward and back. Let your chin drop, let your chest open, your arms drop back, your palms open. Oh, there we go. And reach up through the space. Far and reach far forward, and let your eye gaze follow with that to look far. Good, and let your arms relax again. So I think where you are, you can see my feet. So we're going to start first with stepping with my right foot, and we're going to do classic stepping forward, step number one, and then coming back, step number two. So stepping forward my right foot and bringing up my left. And I'm in a 90-degree angle on a good day. And then we'll come back to neutral and step forward again, right? And come back to neutral and step forward again, right? I'm coming back to neutral so we can move a little bit in a moment. Step back left, come back to neutral, step back left, come back to neutral, and step back left. Good. Let's practice the other side. So step forward left, come up to neutral, knee, sun, and coming back right, ish, knee, sun. So let's practice alternating, and as you alternate from a right step to a left step, you're going to use that neutral opening in between. So let's step forward right, ish, knee, sun, and stepping back, ish, step back right, knee, step back left, sun. Sorry. Let's try it again. Stepping forward right, ish, knee, sun, and stepping back, ish, knee, sun. Good. Very basic footwork. As you watch a lot of the masters, you'll see that their footwork is really what makes the rest of their body movement succeed. So if you have the footwork down, you're almost always going to be able to move yourself out of a situation that you find dangerous or threatening, and you'll find that your footwork will move you to a place of safety. So always important to study the footwork. All right, let's add the two together. So I'm going to go into wakame mode, and I'm going to let my shoulders drop back, my head drop back. As my shoulders roll back, I'm letting my arms rise up above me, slightly behind my crown chakra, coming over my crown chakra, and we're going to step forward on one count with my right foot. Let's go. Ish. And back to neutral. From where your arms are, let them begin to drop down, rotate back, reach up. Oh. Knee. Come back to neutral. Arms dropping. Shoulders rotating, your arms up. Oh. Sun. Back down. So let me back up. There is not really a backward motion for this one. All right. We now start stepping with my left. So let's start from reaching out far, bringing our hands back into and let our shoulders open. And arms raise up. And step forward left. Ish. Knee. Rotating. Ish. Back to neutral. Let your arms drop. Sun. Good. I'm backing up again. Let's do another set of those. So starting from and opening, expanding upward. Oh. Ish. Rotating shoulders, reaching up. Arms dropping, shoulders rotating, reaching up. Let your arms drop. I'm backing up. Take your space for yourself. 3 more. So let's go through from opening Yes. Ish. And dropping and rotating open. Knee. Gaze far. Last one of this set. And opening Ish. Okay, shake out your legs as you walk backwards. Shake, shake. Into the sides too. Into the back. Good. Into the front. Good. All right, so that is a more formal one-step movement. So in the space I'm in, I can now take 3 steps. That's about as far as my space allows me. You have to judge for your own space. But I'm going to say let's do 3 steps, but don't worry about going through what's called the subidachi, the formal stance. Now you're just going to walk forward. So we'll walk forward. Let's just do it together. 3 steps. Let's just go 1, 2, 3, and come together. And walk back, shake your legs out. And let's walk forward, starting with the other leg, just walking forward. Ish, knee, sun. So you're going to walk 3 steps. We're going to cut with our arms, and you're going to add your voice at the very end on that 3rd step. So let's see if we can bring all of that together. All right, so coming down into and opening your focus, keep looking far. Let your arms release and walk back. We're just doing this walk back because of the space we're in. If you have the luxury of going in a circle, you can just keep going. Okay, one more time, back to opening and go. Eesh, done. And release. Reposition yourself for your space. We're going to do 2 more sets. I'm trying to do less narration. And let's go. Oh. And release. Let's go back. Or I'm going back. Position. Last set around. Go ahead. Release your voice if you can. And at the end, just keep that position for a focused moment. So let's go. Hands out wide open, Kaishoken, eyes wide open, whole being wide open. Right hand and left, bring it back into and Standing for a moment and just let all that sensation of movement settle into your cells. And Mokso Yame. All right, Sandra, over to you.
Okay. Well, you two are a tough act to follow today, but I'll do my best. Okay, so I also think of Tenchin Goso as a kata. Okay, so because it's a series of prescribed movements that we do. And as Connie did, I'd like to start off a bit with wakame. So just root your feet, but don't root your body. Just maybe where you are, it's a little windy. Maybe it's calm. Maybe we're inside, so it's a little different. But move how your body would like to do. And just absorb a little. Ich, ni, sam, shin, go, ruk, sich, ach, ku, chu. And bring your feet together. And we'll begin Tenchin Goso, right palm and left. Grasp your left thumb. And and softly and gently opening up. And twisting your hands, cutting down. Oh. Mm. So in all the movements that we do, the aspiration is to not stress ourselves, but to stay engaged throughout the entire movement and not, quote, drop off anywhere. So when Connie was teaching ACO, what happens in the beginning for some people with ACO is they are out here and then they drop it and then they start again. And there's a difference between dropping it and doing soft movement. In French, there's a word called dégonfler, which means to, like when a souffle decompresses. And that's a term Michael Thompson has used. So there's a difference between wakame and soft feeling and dropping. Okay, so just the notion is to stay engaged, all right? Your movement can be soft, but you're not dropping the energy or disengaging yourself from the movement, okay? So with that in mind, I would like to try a very musoken or more wakame expression of Tenshin Goso. So same soft voice, and remember, traditionally, Tenshin Goso say has no voice, but we're using our voices so we can connect a little bit better in this virtual arena. So just use the idea of what Connie and Rob have taught us about wakame and just try to experience Tenshin Goso in a slightly different way. All right, so still follow the format, of course, but you don't need to be kaishoken. You could be soft, you could be a little bit, but make it different than the regular, okay? So because we don't want to be mushy, okay? So let's begin. Listen up. Okay, so what I noticed about my own movement there was that my voice was higher and that I did a better job of making my movement match the length of my vocalization. Okay, so ideally we should, I'm not the world's best example, but every movement from the beginning to the end, you should match your vocalization. And we all have our individual challenges with maybe this one works really well, but this one's not so great, okay? So as a kata, this allows us to practice it many times and to experience it in many ways. And that's, I think, really important. It's not a hard and fast. The traditional movement is very prescribed. It's very clear what it is, but how we take it in and how we experience it over time, over the years, day to day, is ours to do. So take advantage of that, okay? So we'll do it one more time, and we will do formal Tenshin Goso sei. Remember your cutting edge, your ulnar edge, as David Franklin has been calling it. And just experience what you have to experience today. Okay, so here we go again. And beginning. Yummy. Yasme, thank you. And to you, Robert.
Okay. Well, everybody's stealing my Wakame stuff. Okay, so as as Connie and Sandra so clearly showed, there's Wakame in Tenjigoso, there's Wakame in Eiko, but there's also the others. There's Tenjigoso in Eiko, there's Tenjigoso in Wakame, there's Eiko in Wakame, there's Eiko in Hikari, and Tenjigoso and all. It's connected. They're all connected. They flow into each other. So what we've been teaching so far is the side.
Sorry.
One moment. We've been showing the side of the, for example, the Tenjigoso person doing the motion or cutting. Eiko is by yourself, Tenjigoso by yourself. One of the things I want to remember everybody to remember is for any of these movements, or for all of these movements, there is a receiving and attacking side, or a uchitachi side of the movements. So in Wakame, we are like the seaweed. We are like kelp stand, and we can just, so let's just do that for a second. We're the receiving side. Imagine yourself, as Sandra said, feeling the air, the wind, any motion of energy of others, of the earth, how it moves, the ocean current moves through you as if a fish swimming through or a seal swimming through the kelp forest would create a wave and move the kelp. Just rock back and forth. You can partially close your eyes. And just rock. So as you think of kelp it's a flat seaweed. It's long and tall. It has these long, flat edges, or fronds that go up to the surface. As it moves through the current, if it comes to the straight on side, it moves and adjusts to it. But if it comes at an angle, it will sometimes just twist, and the water will flow past the sharp edge. as if it's cutting through. So imagine yourself not just responding, but if your body angle is right and the energy is coming at you, cut through it, not necessarily bending to it, but you as a wakame can adjust your body to be in the right position to handle something that you don't want to respond to also. And always try to come back to a straight in between each few cuts. Come to Tenchi Jin feeling. Reach as kelp always reaches towards the sun every day. No matter how rough the water, how windy the air coming through, you want to come back to the center, your center. Find that again. Maintain good roots. So front, back maybe. And a few side. Splashes around a bit. And then calms. Here comes the sea otter. He dives down. He catches it. Goes down to grab the sea urchin off your feet. And then comes back up, and you rise back up as he comes back up. And settles. Sea lions swimming through. And back. Okay, now we've got some good images of sea life and the kelp bed. It really, for me, it really helps, but it could also be the wind through the bamboo stand or in the treetops, the birds, what the elephants pushing through, whatever works in your mind. Generally, a nature idea is good. It can be the idea of keep your movement softly. Okay, you just got off the train at Shinjuku Station, or you're waiting there and you have to wait, but everybody wants to move, so you have to adjust your body as everybody flows by you. Not getting dragged along with the crowd, but staying where you need to be. But not fighting it, just adjusting. Come back to center. Gently open your eyes a little bit. Look far in the distance. And now I want to have you imagine instead of the kelp, you're the current or the sea lion or the fish or the people that have to move through. So we're going to take a few steps and we're going to reach out and just push. And then release and come back. Use just your right hands initially. And push. Push the energy just like the current doesn't have a end of its hand. It pushes the movement is distant. The wind doesn't have an end to it. It goes on forever. Imagine yourself back. Go to the side. Come back to center. Each time, center and calm yourself. Pushing off left a little bit. And come back and center. Coming from above a little bit, as if you're cutting through, coming down. That sea otter going down, and then coming back up. Let let the energy come from you, from deep in your core. And move beyond you. Now imagine, pick a person in the other side of our Zoom space. So pick a person and say, okay, I want to reach and touch that person and affect them. Could be Sandra, could be Connie, could be I, could be Beavis, could be Sarah. Think of their space they're in. Could be Dan. Who else do we got here right now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Antigone and Lilia. Take a person way off and allow your push to go all the way there. And if you feel it from way over there, allow your body to respond. Just like two sea lions, if they were coming at each other, they'd respond and they wouldn't crash into each other. They don't do that. Just like I said, the kelp twists and moves with the current. It doesn't always just bend to it. It keeps its place. Feel everybody. Florida, New York, Vermont, California. Antigone, are you still in Greece?
Yes, I am.
All the way to Greece. Imagine you might have a partner in the Shinto community that you could affect with your push, helping them in some way. That maybe they're not in Keiko because they don't have time today, but you can give them energy, give them support. And coming back to your roots, your hold fast, soften your body, keep moving. Your energy can go all that distance and feel from that distance. The ocean is wide and deep. And slowly coming as it calms back to Tenshi Jin. Still flexible and soft, responsive. And Yame. Yes, may. One last. Mokso. Mokso yame. Great. And thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
And thank you everybody for coming.